The man discovered a huge piece of gold in the desert, but it was so heavy that he couldn't move it. He turned to look at his companion in the distance, hesitated for a moment, and finally decided to call him over. David crouched down in amazement, staring at the golden nugget on the ground. He pulled out a lighter and heated the surface of the gold. Real gold doesn't change color when exposed to fire, and the nugget remained unchanged. The two of them exchanged glances but said nothing, grabbing their shovels to start digging. They were even more shocked when they found the nugget was as big as a camel, and there could be even more buried beneath the surface. They tried to move it together, but the gold didn't budge, clearly indicating that there was more hidden underneath. They attached a rope to the back of their pickup truck and tried to drag it, but the rope snapped twice, and still, it wouldn't move. Undeterred, they kept digging, and soon a large pit formed. The exposed gold was now as big as an elephant, but they still hadn't reached the bottom of the nugget. They were at a loss, so they gathered some firewood and decided to camp for the night. As they lit the campfire, they could no longer contain their excitement and joy, celebrating their incredible find.
It's not a fucking pile of gold! What are the odds, man? What are the odds?
After calming down, they realized the next challenge: how to transport the gold. David suggested that he stay behind to guard the gold while Mike drove back to town to get a small excavator. He emphasized that they needed to keep it low-key. Mike stayed silent for a while, growing suspicious.
What am I to do with the gold? You know where to get the excavator.
David agreed, leaving Mike with a small bucket of water, some canned food, and a satellite phone. He told Mike that as long as he could survive the intense heat for 3 or 4 days, they would be rich. Then David turned and drove away. Now Mike was alone in the vast desert. He used an axe to cover the gold and set up a makeshift tent under an old tree to shield himself from the sun. His eyes never left the massive gold nugget, occasionally digging around it, afraid it might disappear on its own. However, the sun was unbearably harsh. It felt like he was being roasted in an oven, his body slowly drying out, his mouth parched. Mike grabbed his canvas bag and started walking, looking for better shelter. As he climbed a hill, he suddenly spotted a crashed airplane.